the doubters, doubters. To those who don't believe, this is the hour, hour. You'll see that we'll make ladders out of obstacles and stepping stones from roadblocks. Slip over the lines to say we won't cross, but you can't take the nothing. Then once it's coming, scale all of the walls they built to hold us. We may be invisible, but we'll be unmistakable. We may be invisible. They may be blind to me, just wait and see. All the haters, haters, those filled with jealousy, the naysayers, payers for defeat. But we'll make ladders out of obstacles and stepping stones from roadblocks. Leap over the lines to say we won't cross, but you can't take the nothing. Then once it's coming, scale all of the walls they built to hold us. We may be invisible, but we'll be unmistakable. We may be invisible. They may be blind to me, just wait and see.
Last time I warned y'all, now this time I'm just sending shots. Thought that I was some yes man, I'm about to show y'all that I'm really not. Me and mine was really on the bottom, now we way up at the tippy top. No bull, unless we talking flipping stocks. Don't mess around or you getting got. Can't see through it cause it's tinted out. Yeah, ooh, I'm on the way. Game time, who wanna play? I showed up just to ruin your day. Count my green till I'm blue in the face. I don't wanna talk, please give me my space. About to go ghost till I give me my rave. Flow too fast, can't get with my pace. I'm a spaz on as soon as Quentin give me that bass. Boom, 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 boom. One out of smoke like a chimney. It's my turn like I'm Timmy. I pity y'all boys, think y'all Big Mickey, y'all mini. I'm your favorite writer's writer. I'm on fire. I leave, everybody retire. My team the only people I admire. My empire, only second to Messiah. That's no boast. You don't wanna get too close. I explode with every single line I spoke. Remember when they laughed at me like I'm a joke? Now I control the master lines they quote. Haters talk now, everybody quiet. Though surprised to see that I can go as high as I can go. Told you a long time ago that I'm. Wait a minute. What? I should. You lucky I don't. Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between and all over the world, welcome to the final game on the penultimate day of the European Ultimate Club Finals. Here in Caorle, I am Lorca Murray, and I am joined by one of my favorite people in the world, Benjamin Rees. Benji, how you doing?
Honestly, vibing, you know, sun's out. We don't have ridiculous weather for the first time, it feels, this weekend. Been watching some good Ultimate. Time to get down to mixed semi-final action.
And this is going to be a big one. The mixed division had a slightly different format this year, just 2 pools, 6 teams in each one. They all played each other, and then the top 2 from each pool go into the semi-finals. So GRUT top their pool, undefeated so far.
Yeah, perfect 5-0, and I'll be honest, haven't necessarily looked massively troubled in doing so. DISConnection a bit bumpier, up and down. Won 3 games, but carrying 2 losses. 1-2 leftovers, who topped the pool, undefeated. Bit of a surprise there, perhaps 15-12. They also, maybe underperformed against Catch Up yesterday. And that loss to leftovers meant that if Catch Up could have beaten Deep Space in the game we streamed earlier today, Catch Up would have leapfrogged them by head-to-head into the semi-finals. But Catch Up had such a sloppy first half of the game. They played brilliantly in the second, but gave themselves too much to do. So DISConnection found themselves in the semi here against GRUT.
So Freiburg versus Amsterdam, DISConnection versus GRUT. This is going to be a big challenge for the Germans, who've enjoyed quite a bit of representation in the upper echelon of this tournament. We welcome you here to this matchup. Both teams raising their spirits, raising their voices on their campaign to hopefully raise the European title. Something GRUT are very familiar with, something DISConnection are still working towards. DISConnection, a lot of passes, a team who really focus on being balanced. They have one of the most even spreads of stats traditionally. They had a great campaign in WUC as well to sharpen themselves, as did GRUT. GRUT, of course, were quite disappointed to go out in the quarterfinal. They went out to the eventual champions, Seattle. Gave them one of their toughest games.
Seattle mixtape specifically, because of course there were 2 Seattle teams.
Great point. I spent too much time with the Americans, calling it by the city, not calling it by the club name.
And it's the second time in a row that the mixed division, the best mixed side in the world, has been the second best mixed side in Seattle by the previous year's USA Nationals result. Very weird.
But we're not in America right now. We're here in Caorle, Italy, and the action is about to get underway. As GRUT go for the big time pull. And start chasing down that disc. So DISConnection, quick to start, Forster. Go straight through the middle. And down the line, and an early mistake. It bounced off the hands of Shields. Disc was thrown slightly behind her. So now GRUT have an opportunity to open this game up with a break. Lola Dam makes the cut, a lateral one across the pitch, and then looks to shoot to the end zone straight away, and it is scooped up off the ground for the score. And the opening point for GRUT.
Starting this game in an ominous fashion if you're a DISConnection side. We mentioned that these two teams both represented out in Cincinnati, and they met in the round of 16 there, with GRUT taking a 15-10 victory. So you know how DISConnection would love to avenge that here with a GRUT side that's not quite at full strength.
Which is slightly peculiar for you to say, because they have also got a returning founding member of the club as well. So talk us through this GRUT team list.
So you're not seeing players like Anna Minard or Walt Janssen as there's the shot down the sideline. It's a low grab that was kept alive.
That's Janssen's jersey, but it's not Janssen filling it up. I think that might be Joris Steneker.
I'm trying to find it if I can. My eyes are playing tricks on me. But yeah, so some players absent, but Lauco van der Weyden back from Australia and representing here this weekend.
He played Wook with Sunder?
Potentially, yes.
As rocking down the pitch nice and quickly is DISConnection. They're hoping to find themselves a little bit of a shaky start, but they've got to shake it off and get back into action. That's Young sending it down the line. Lots of pressure on them. Turk searching for something. He gets a lovely backhand break. Huge bid, but can't quite get there. The second bid does. And Steneker's making himself known.
He's having a presence early on in this game. Good to be back with his charges.
So here comes GRUT looking for another early break. And spreading it around. That's Dunshern. Dunshern sends it down. Collected by Floor. Krulertz sends it into the middle, and the waiting hands of Van der Brink. Van der Brink, no real cuts coming straight away. Has to wait for them to develop. Dunshern goes back to Van der Brink and makes another move. Nothing really happening downfield. They're just kind of allowing the handlers to work in between each other. Krulertz goes for the big hook. She's waiting for nothing. Launches it deep. Really great defensive pressure. They look to spread it out. Trying to find Emily Shields. This time they connect. Gets it to Oliver Young. Young near sideline. Thinks about a hook himself. Launches it down there. Now that's always drifting away from his intended receiver, Magdalena Frey.
Yeah, both sides having some offensive miscues here. For GRUT on the D-line, you give your players a chance, maybe a bit more license to be expansive and to shoot. But for DISConnection, they do like these deep shots, and when they work, it's so tough to stop. But they haven't got that range in so far.
So how can they respond now? Once again to Van der Brink. Klertz makes the play. They sweep and clear out the sideline. Trying to get her into power position. That's good defensive presence by Emily Shields to not let the huck off this time. Dunshern spreads it out to the opposite sideline in the form of Lola Dam. One of the quickest women in Ultimate. Dunshern makes a play up the line. Dam goes back to Steneker. Plenty of float. He's got all time in the world to chase that one down. Steneker to Dam. Gets to Van der Brink. Van der Brink goes for huck himself. It's always going to be a little bit low, and too low in the end. It hits dirt.
Did not give anyone even a chance at that one. And yeah, I imagine some frustration coming out.
So trying to get right back into it. Forster. A real presence for them in that handler position. She's going to have to work very hard to escape the attentions of Bardwell. They go down the line instead to Young. Huge bid, but Young gets it off. And a massive grab by Shields. Oh, I thought she had it.
there was a moment where, rather than Shields catching that almost caught her. And if you're looking for someone who's going to be the target of a lot of these deep throws, it is the rapid Emily Shields. That's when they got it to her. Well, almost got it to her. Just a couple of inches short.
Got it to the vicinity. Almost pins it together, but couldn't bring it in. So now Jakob Dunchern picking it up. He's going to get another go. So this GRUT D-line wants the point. Dunchern searching. I think he gets it to Muskie. Middle of the pitch. Van de Brink clears out. Dunchern comes back. Goes to Dunchern. Dunchern winds up, launches one deep. It's being chased down all the way down the pitch. That was beautifully thrown. Van de Brink doing the classic clear out and go deep. One of my favorite moves in Ultimate, and then he hits it to Lola Dam for the score in the end zone.
If anyone has a way to stop Lola Dam in the end zone, then let me know, because I've not seen anyone manage to do it, I think, ever, perhaps.
If you happen to work it out, you can let DISConnection know as well, and the rest of the mixed division here in Europe. Lola Dam, so quick, one of the captains of this GRUT team, a leader in just about every sense of the word for the Dutch. So an early break, an early 2-0 lead, Benji, to be expected?
On paper, yes, you definitely have GRUT as the favourites, although you always wonder when it comes to the knockout games, can you keep your form, especially because you know how DISConnection will be itching for some vengeance from being knocked out of that top bracket at Worlds by the Dutch.
That's Van de Brink to Kalertz. Great body position, reads it all the way. There's Dunchern with the big arcing backhand. A couple of hooks didn't quite work out for either team, but in the end, Van de Brink with the clear out all the way down the pitch. Dunchern finds him. And then he just finishes it with a nice smooth pass to Lola Dam. Disc is floating slowly down. And collected by Philip Haas.
Haas is a good enough player that he can really be catching that ball. Surprised he let it drop slowly.
It allows the defense to get settled. That's not what you want to be doing. Forster. Forster's probably going to pick up a few different defensive assignments as GRUT cycle people through. The key handler for DISConnection. That one goes to Shields, but it's going to go back. There's a pick.
Suspiciously open?
I don't know. It's Emily Shields.
That's a fair point. Well made.
Well, thank you. So Disc is going to get reset. Seems like DISConnection really trying to isolate that space in front of the handlers and then just send cutter after cutter into it. I think GRUT are going to start peeling off from the front of the stack to try and stop that from happening. Forster to Shields. Shields collects. Sends it down the line. It's taken in nicely by Gross. Gross sends it to the end zone where it is caught for the score by Magdalena Frey. Nope, sorry, just outside the end zone. Magdalena Frey pops it back to Kirklow.
Yeah, Kirklow normally wears 99, but actually had to swap kids with Nico Neuer because Nico Neuer has his legs are too big to fit in the shorts, so they swapped.
Is that a real fact or one of those fun
No, that's
facts?
real.
Wow, and Kirklow gets it to Magdalena Frey in the end. Frey so lethal in the receiving position.
Nice to get on the board there for DISConnection. Of course, you'd much rather not having given up the couple of breaks, but you're now in the scoring rank, so it's always nice to get that first one on the board. It does give you just that little bit of a boost.
And that's something that they're going to be looking for all game long, these boosts to stay in it mentally. So they get the score, and now they're going to be able to put their D-line out there. Hopefully exert a bit of pressure back on the GRUT side. Nothing easy. As you see, Frey reads it perfectly, gets in the right position, quickly recognizes that it wasn't quite in, gets back to Kirklow. And then just watch. You can see Frey just in the background, slate behind Bloom. Does the step in and then right back out into the open side, taking advantage of the defense, falling asleep perhaps a little bit after the stoppage of play.
You're going to see GRUT's O-line for the first time. Having broken twice to start the game.
So let's see how this GRUT O-line fares. They did cycle a couple of these players out, so we have seen them on the pitch so far on the D-line points. But now it's the full-blown, full effect. How will DISConnection deal with it? Blasman, middle of the pitch. And there's Lauco. Van de Weeden sends it to Coulertz. Stealing in there, almost getting a block, was Joanna Erdmann. Coulertz got to play with a bit more intensity. She can't take anything for granted. Erdmann certainly isn't going to. Blausman. That's a lovely open side pass into Urt. He's a long man with a big range, but that one hit him right in the chest. Gets it back to Blausman. Blausman's looking for the swing, but Erdmann is staying right on Coulertz's shoulder. Instead, they go to Janssen. Janssen, back to Blausman in the middle.
They're very calm and composed at the back at the moment.
And then there's the big shot deep. And does that count as an assist? No, they're outside, so Urt looks to get it back, and Van de Weeden collects it for the score.
Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication that very nearly got them in trouble there. But once they worked it all out, they just got that isolation set up instantly, and it's so hard when you're one-on-one, especially when you've got throwers like Benor, and you've got to cover every single blade of grass.
Because he can throw it to every single blade of grass.
Correct.
Pretty much any other blade of grass on the pitch. Very versatile. Van der Weeden traditionally was a defensive leader. Was a key defensive handler.
Yeah, moved over to their O-line when Baston Dion went stateside, and former ULTI World Breakout Player of the Year in the mixed division. And then just as he kind of was really making a name for himself in Europe, he moved to Australia.
Australia?
It's true.
The world down under. All right, that's just for the potential Australian fans. We just wanted to make sure we made them nice and angry with our terrible accents.
What do you mean? I thought that was bang on.
I actually think I've got a pretty good Australian accent, and I had an Australian say that to me once, and it warms me.
How drunk were they?
Well, they were Australian.
Fair.
So it's really hard to tell. And Young just stops that on the roll. So he's got to play it from back there.
This is really tough field position.
Lots and lots of pressure. Turk gets it back to Young. Young spreads it out to Shields. Shields is able to get the separation, and this is good stuff from DISConnection flowing down the pitch. Forster goes with a big shot. Brilliant defensive play by Steneker.
He's having a monster game.
I'd be scared of him if I was playing for DISConnection. Airing that one out and getting it all the way across to the form of Dunshern. Dunshern then uncorking one. It's huge. It's floaty, but there's absolutely nobody near Jasper ten Haken. That makes sense.
It's a pick. That's why. Dunshern, the Austrian, was studying in Amsterdam, so tried out with GRUT and made the squad. A GRUT side that said, yeah, we want to keep it internal. We don't really want to bring in any pickups. But he went along and they were like, nope, fair play. We can make room.
There, showing off a little bit of the reasons why.
He's already become a key piece on the turn for GRUT.
So Ten Haken just having a bit of a conversation with the man marking him. There's a high floaty pass, but Dam is equal to it. Gets up big, pots it back to Dunshern. Dunshern doesn't want the deep shot this time. Instead, spreads it across the opposite side of the pitch in the waiting hands of Bardol. Bardol back into Dunshern in the middle. And there's the point, but he kind of overthrows Jenneker and finds it perfectly to Ten Haken. He can claim that was on purpose. He goes for the high release backhand break, and Lola Dam misses on the first bite, gets it with the second.
It felt like Lola Dam was kind of struggling to locate that in the sun a little bit there. But got the position early enough, got the read, although didn't take it as cleanly as she would have liked. Was able to get it at the second attempt for the 4-1 lead. 4-1, in the ascendancy. Looking solid for another finals berth, but plenty of time left in this game.
Amazing defensive play by Jenneker.
Joris Steneker has been supreme the goal and a couple of blocks already, and we're only 5 points in, just causing so much pressure, even when he's not getting the turn. And that one, maybe lucky, or maybe good backup, and then just floating that one out there, always going to back lower the dam in the air, as good as Magda Frey is, and 4-1.
So GRUT storming out to an early lead 15 minutes into this game. Something of a commanding position. 3 breaks so far, 1 offensive hold. Only their D-line have turned it. Frey hopping over the disc. You can't have a little bit of fun. It's a semi-final after all. You worked hard to be here. You've earned it. Pass across to Forster. Forster sends it right back to him. There's some nice quick play here. Kirklow back to Forster. Kirklow. Forster. Or, sorry, not Forster. That was Haas. That's Forster.
That's Forster.
Forster. Forster. Swinging it across to Turk. Haas. Kirklow. And there, big defensive play, storming through and getting the block. Very nice work by Suzanne Slob. And there's Epstein, one of the captains for GRUT. Sending it around. Boom. Epstein cuts for him, trying to get up the line. There's the reset to Dam. Dam looking to really lead these troops. Boom with a quick cut back in front of Dam, and there's the big shot. He's looking for it downfield, but it was always dropping short. It was a good correction by Aaron Morrison, but he couldn't get there in time.
Morrison wearing that incredibly crumpled kit because he accidentally washed it at 90 degrees.
Well, look, he makes better decisions on the pitch than he does off them. Let's hope. Kirklow, Forster.
Why would you wash anything at 90 degrees?
Well, maybe you want to be perpendicular.
All right, I'll give you that one.
Haas. Oh, that was a great pickup. Scooping it off the ground, getting back to Haas immediately from Kirklow. Kirklow again, has Frey. Waits for Haas to appear. Nice leading pass, but the bid, unfortunately not quite enough to stop it hitting turf. Rumpelt willing to sacrifice her body.
Another chance for 5-1.
Niels Boom.
Would it kill you if I told you it's pronounced boom?
Boom.
But boom is much fun.
Much more fun. As that one goes under. Lola Dam couldn't get it. It was thrown a bit behind her. Kirklow looking for any kind of availability. That's a big force against him. Epstein is so active in that handler position. But there's the nice little break to Frey, and she gets the second score for DISConnection. Keep throwing it to Frey, I say.
I mean, if I don't broke, don't fix it. Daniel Turk on the assist this time. You could see that he wanted the offhand backhand because he suggested at it a couple of times and eventually pulled the trigger through to Magdalena Frey. Maybe the only person here who's a professional potter. I assume that means that she makes pots rather than she plays snooker for a living.
You never know. Frey might be a demon in the pool halls of Freiburg. What would be the other one, like a professional potter, like making them out of clay?
Yeah,
Oh.
on a wheel.
Huh. Artisan.
Yes, you've got to have a good eye and be very good with your hands. So skills that you totally see how they would translate.
Makes
There
a lot
was
of sense.
that low scoop from Benno Kirklow, and then trying to get it around Rumpel, despite the bid, comes up empty, but into tight coverage, a little bit behind, or in either way. Shields was right there. And then Turk on that sideline. He's looking for the offhand. He so wants it, and eventually he gets it.
Frey very hyped. As we resume action, Van der Wieden sends it down the line. Oh, there's been a pick. That would explain why things had slowed down.
We've had a few picks this game. Just maybe both sides need to sort out their offensive spacing. I appreciate that, especially on the heavy track, it's getting muddy in the middle of the field. Sometimes, it's difficult to get set properly.
So Tenkat gets the disc back. We're fortunate for the sun as well to kind of bake dry this grass. was a lot of slipping in the opening slots today. A good bit less of it now. 10 cap marked by Annika Hambrecht. Hambrecht. Blasman. Blasman Jansen's cutting under, so is Van de Weeden. And it goes to neither of them, kind of as if it was going in between them.
6 of one, half a dozen of neither.
Well,
that's the one. 6 of done, 6 of none, half a dozen of the other.
And there's the high floaty pass. Bodies underneath it, and a massive grab.
How many times do you see 2 number 53s go up against one another?
Oh, and there's a big bid, but neither of them can come up with it. I mean, if it's going to be plays like that, I wouldn't mind seeing not 53s go up against it. Gross joined us in the warm-up show. There's the huge hug. Ort against Gross. It's floating. They're repositioning, and Gross gets it. 2 pops.
He's ruling the skies on this point, is Arne Gross.
That's one of the more egregious catch your teeth moments. Put a lot of life back into that disc. If there's anybody else chasing it apart from Ort, could have been in trouble. So here comes Torben Hag. Cuts immediately splitting. Oh, I love that set play. The back 2 in the 2-5 stack. Both go off to under each side, and then tearing deep was Jana Erdmann. She gets the reset off to Hambrecht. Hambrecht is looking for someone to give it back to. Gets it to Hag. Hag sends it back. Gross. There's cuts coming in front of him. He can't quite find them. I think there's going to be a call there. Not very happy with the contact from Ort. Let's see again. That's a massive grab by Joanna Erdmann. That's an old play we used to run when I was in college. That's how long ago that play was invented.
And that was, what, 50 years ago?
I think so. I didn't really pay a lot of attention in college, so I can't remember.
No, me neither.
Gross. Over the top. Voigt looks for Gross again. Gross really wants to take over this point. There's enough float there. Huge grab. Phenomenal stuff. That's got to energize you. Amazing play by Hag. Pops it back into the middle, waiting for it. Well cut there. Now they're on the far sideline. Hosbach. Back to Gross. Goes for a nice, easy break across. And caught. So DISConnection far from out of it. Great grab by Hag. He deserved it after that earlier layout.
He did indeed, and yeah, getting the goal. I think just reward for what was a ridiculous grab. DISConnection making it clear that they're not going to roll over and have their tummies tickled. They're in this. They are bang up for it.
They've got claws and they will scratch you. That's another beautiful, beautiful shot of Gross's massive grab.
And then
talk about massive grabs.
Maybe just got a bit over-eager with that one. It is so close to Hag coming up with it. I wonder if his teammate being there maybe distracts him a little bit. This one knocked away at the second attempt. The old double D there from Gross. The overthrow. Not if Hag has anything to say about it. Picture perfect. Picture perfect. You can't be singing that anymore, by the way. We'll get into trouble. And then Gross, with that around break, much simpler catch for Hag at that time.
Nicely done. Really great break from Gross. So Gross and Hag really taking over on that point. Hosbach also showing up a few times.
So maybe DISConnection now finally have pressed the ignition.
Moving swiftly along. There's the nice, cute little double clap from GRUT. They're ready to go. Goodness gracious me. Seeing it up close, you really realize how wrinkled Aaron Morson's jersey is.
It's a disgrace, isn't it?
He's basically melted the thing. Why is there even a 90-degree setting on a washing machine if that's what it does to your clothes?
Maybe it's 90-degree Fahrenheit, but that wouldn't do that. It has to be Celsius.
Maybe he mistook it for Kelvin?
Mate, if you find a way to wash something at 90 degrees Kelvin, yeah, you might need to turn the heating on.
Be more wearable than that. Blasman. Hits Ort on the quick easy under. Still not a huge amount of downfield movement by GRUT. Ort using his elongated frame to get around the mark. Back to Blausman in the middle. Jensen on the break side. They go instead inside. Now Ort has it again. Shoots it deep immediately. Coulertz, that's a long-standing connection, and that's why.
We've seen it for so long, and it still works because you can't stop it. Ort to Coulertz, it just works. It does feel to me like they're being very thrower-led at the moment. It's not necessarily like they're getting huge amount of separation downfield, but they're creating just enough and trusting the throwers, trusting the arm talent to be able to hit them in those spaces.
Maybe a graduation from where they used to rely on their incredible physicality and athleticism. So just big shots and you're going to chase them down and get there first. Now they're relying on the technical skills they've developed from having to throw those big shots to athletic players. There's Ort just uncorking one.
And then it's good pressure defensively. Unfortunately, for DISConnection, just not quite good enough.
That Erdmann-Coulertz matchup is very entertaining so far.
Right, I think there's good matchups all over this field, to be honest. GRUT very much with the advantage at the moment, but DISConnection have shown that GRUT are not the immortal monster that sometimes they are perceived to be in Europe.
If it bleeds, we can kill it, and that's got to be the mantra for the Freiburg fighters right now as they're looking to get back into this matchup. That's Daniel Turk chasing that disc out of bounds. The wind picks up just in time for him to arrive at the front corner. That's unfortunate. Able to get it around, waiting for it is Oliver Young. Big cut, acres of space. Surprised there's no pick call involved, to be honest with you. Back into the middle quickly to Shields. Shields looking for Young. Finds him, gets it immediately back. That's that DISConnection quick movement. They work to great effect. Big time bid!
Any surprise who it is?
That man who's dominating the game.
It's Joris Seneca again. You can't keep him out of the game.
I think he's living the spirit of Walt Janssen in the jersey.
Although we
tend to do the number 6 proud.
I think about Walt Janssen more as an offensive player, but he's doing it on defense this game. Unfortunately for GRUT, they send it right back, and it's the number 6 for DISConnection, Oliver Young with the D.
So nice D. Avoiding giving up another break. They want to keep this game close. Plenty of time left. It's just about keeping yourself in it. Forster. Across to you. Oh, that's a huge shot out of the hands of Turk. He's looking for Young, but there's 3 players down there. It winds up with Van de Brink. He gets it back. Steneker, and that's a massive shot out of the hands of Steneker. Lots of people down there. Significant bids. Ten Haggen tried to get up for it.
I was expecting to see maybe a call there, because it felt like Hill didn't get the disc, but did get a fair bit of Ten Haggen. But I guess he feels that the contact maybe occurred after he'd already dropped it.
So DISConnection get another chance to punch in their offense. Turk clears out, Young comes back around. Eventually they're able to get it off to Nover. The third look in the dump reset cycle.
That throw sounded like it might have been tipped out of the hand, but it's still complete to Shields anyway.
Turk. A lovely step around backhand break, but the wind picks up at the worst possible time for Freiburg, and Nover just has to watch it bounce off his fingertips. He didn't account for that extra inch.
The weather can be a cruel mistress at times.
Ten Haggen, damn. Tries to get back to Ten Haggen as he rushes through. Instead forced to go around Dunchurn. Dunchurn stretches out to the far sideline, and well taken in for the score by Ten Haggen.
Again, they just have weapons all over the field. You know, they can generate blocks from pretty much anyone on the roster. They can all pick it up. They can all cut after the turn. And when they can't get it done, sometimes the wind will just give you a little helping hand anyway, as if they needed it.
Does seem a little bit unfair. Almost as if fate herself is getting in the way.
Do you believe in fate?
I believe it's not to be trifled with.
All right, I'll let you off. This one down the sideline, that's a big block from the big man, Oliver Young. You see those sweatbands on either arm, the German flag and the trans flag as well. This one hucked into double coverage. GRUT probably always favourites to, if not come down with it, prevent DISConnection from doing so. And there, the wind's just popping it up at the most inopportune moment for Henning Nova.
It's just some great dump recycling. Dam to Dunshern. Dunshern to Ten Hacken. In fairness to Young, he was almost there for another block.
Nearly, but not quite.
And that's the kind of story that gets told once you lose a semi-final against the likes of GRUT.
Bit of Mac line.
I was wondering if that's allowed, because Ravi was educating me on the rules of, like,
you're supposed to be 3 meters away. He's not on the pitch, so it's not like he can take it. But yeah, if someone, you know, if the ball lands out of bounds and someone's like, I'll give it to you, if you pick it up, you are supposed to take it, although it's, yeah, generally not necessarily strictly enforced.
Yeah, someone's going to need to tell Randall about that tomorrow, but for now it's Förster. Trying to get around. Turk is working incredibly hard, but Epstein is doing very well to keep him locked out. Shields, Frey, Förster, that's a beautiful leading pass. These are the give-goes that they love to get moving. Kirklow, Förster. Trying to find Haas, can't quite get there. Sends it down to Frey instead. Turk back to Frey, and that's a quick score. Those give-goes to great effect. 6-4. DISConnection's women really running the show on that point, and it feels like you don't necessarily say that very often against teams that play GRUT, because we know what they are, what their female matching players for GRUT are capable of, but they zipped the disc around, they were happy to run it through the female matchups, and they were rewarded for it. DISConnection just having a little bit of discussion. What are we going to do defensively? What would you like to see them do defensively?
Who?
DISConnection. Try and generate another turn.
Play a bit of zone. Just mix it up, I think, especially with the wind. You know that they've got aggressive throwers who like to take the difficult options on. Maybe you say, hey, if you want to take that on, that's fine. Let's see what you got.
Smart decision, and it's always a smart decision to give it back to Frey after she pops it off to you. She's always pottering about, looking for that give-go game.
I'm going to allow this.
My enduring quest to get Ravi to approve of my wordplay. I reckon I shoot about 60%.
Really? 60% of the time it works every time.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
All right, Meatloaf.
There's that pull. For a second, looks like it was going to roll out, but just turns around and comes back in. Van der Weyden sends it to Blausman. Blausman looking for Ort. And he's going to do what he loves. Oh, I thought he was going to sky up for that one, but he slightly misjudged it, and Hag's able to get it. So there's the quick turn.
There's the wind for you.
Hag pops it to Weigel. Weigel. Back into the middle, Haas. Searching. Finds Erdmann eventually. Back over to Haas. Hash dishes it out to Hag. Hag has Haas in the middle. Goes back to him. Spreads it all the way across the pitch. Almost in for a score, but not quite. Can't get the punch in at the last second. Weigel gets it on the second. Asking, nice shot. They do not want to let this game go. Hambrecht with the score.
Again, those of you just assuming that we can crown GRUT champions of Europe. Hey, we can't even say that they're in the final yet. DISConnection will be so keen to take this all the way. That time, offensively, GRUT had the majority of their players set really far downfield, trying to open this big underspace and putting a bit of air under that. And the wind said, thank you very much. We'll elevate that, cleaning up behind where DISConnection, and then swinging all the way, you know, textbook, stretch the field laterally, get the disc all the way onto the break side, the little fake in there, and then Plants comes to the open side, and Hambrecht catches the dish for the score.
And they're so good at that swinging play and attacking the different sidelines and then getting it back across. GRUT going to really need to look into shutting that down with a bit more of a round force, I would say. I haven't seen too many of their inside break attempts, so maybe force them to go for those smaller windows, generate a few turns there. 6-5, far from a foregone conclusion that maybe some of the people watching back in the Netherlands were expecting this to be.
Hey. This is the great thing about Euros. We've seen it in all the divisions up and down this weekend, there's no such thing as a sore thing at UCF.
You see leftover stopping their pool undefeated. I don't think many people have picked that coming into this. I think a lot of people would have probably zeroed in on a potential GRUT DISConnection semi-final.
Or maybe even final.
True, Blausman. That's an immaculate break this time. Gets low, plenty of spin. Or it does the same. Coulertz looking for Blausman. He's got to work hard to get it, and then it's just dropping away from him. Fantastic defensive pressure. Philip Steffen putting in a shift.
That is brilliant, sticky dump reset coverage. Matching it all the way. Just Blausman unable to remove himself.
So Arne Gross, a dishy throw over the top, but just too far ahead of Steffen. And the opportunity goes begging. Van de Wieden down the line to Oort. Oort nicely down to Janssen. Janssen doesn't want the shot to the end zone. Instead goes for the break. Back across to Whitcomb. And that's another big time block. Trying to continue things along. Nico Neuer, those massive legs. Coming in handy.
You see what I mean?
Makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. I thought they were joking at first, and then I was like, oh no, that's fine. That's legit.
He's running on 2 tree trunks, and you understand that call for a timeout by Gross. He recognizes there's a chance to tie this game back up. Went 2-0 down, and people might have thought this game was over. DISConnection have got a lot to say about that assumption. So we will be back with plenty of action. I don't know where else you'd want to go right now. I'm Lorca Murray, joined by Benji Rees. We'll see you in about a minute.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
As we are back, disc just about to be tapped in. Oort on Gross. They're going with a simple stack and a free dump immediately behind as Blausman was trying to stop the break channel. A nice shot down the line. Well taken in by Erdmann. Erdmann and Coulertz continuing their battle. And there's the shot, and it was just a bit too low out of the hands of Neuer.
I was really surprised he threw that. I was not expecting him to do it.
It was a very small window. Van de Wieden. Nicely inside to Coulertz. Van de Wieden continues his move, but he is marked the entire way by Felix Becht. DISConnection are hungry. This match defense is on the shoulder, working their legs off right now.
And when you know how crazy athletic GRUT are, it's saying a lot.
There's an example, huge defensive bid. So GRUT send it down the line. Janssen, she's got plenty of powerful throws herself. Sends that one over Coulertz. It's bobbled, it's batted, it's knocked down. Becht getting the block in the end. Putting in a great shift against Van de Wieden. So now Gross going to pick it up. I really think if they're going to tie up this game, they need to do it on this point. Gross. Immediately burning deep is the form of Erdmann. Erdmann against Coulertz. Massive block by a friendly neighborhood floor.
I'm just saying, have you ever seen Florculots and Spider-Man in the same room?
I haven't.
Well, there you
that
go.
actually is a lot more about the pressure that GRUT is able to put on there and bouncing out of the hands of Erdmann.
Well, that's the thing. You get that insane quick reaction and body control.
Blausman, fake, shoots. Ort, Janssen. Another big-time fake.
Very expressive, isn't it?
That's what we're here for, really. You gotta let those emotions out there. Whitcomb. Ort. Blausman. That's some lovely cutting and a great grab. Basically lodged itself in his hand. Gets it to Kalertz. Kalertz front of the end zone. Has Blausman behind. Wants to go down the line to Ort instead for the score. And it shows you just how much they had to work with that spike by Ort. 7-5.
That was a real grind for GRUT, but a grind they were able to complete.
Wearing down DISConnection over time. I do worry that might be the closest DISConnection come to tying up this game. There's Frey, such an emotional leader for this team as well as on the pitch. Lift your hands up. Lift your spirits up. We're still in this fight.
That was maybe the first turnover at the point that had 6 in total. That one just, Neuer's taking the inside line and never letting that one go through. There's Becht getting the high D after DISConnection had turned it following the timeout. But eventually, GRUT, you give them enough chances, they are going to make it work. Kularts down the line to Ort. Call as you like. Do you want an update on the other semi-final?
Oh, please.
Reading, who took second place in this pool, their only loss coming to GRUT. That 9-6 when Lightning brought Thursday's games to an early finish up against Leftovers, undefeated in Pool B. Leftovers 5, Reading 10.
Ooh. And the English outfit showing some prowess right now.
Reading.
Old enemies of GRUT.
Yeah, they seem to be one of the teams that really does match up well against GRUT. And they always seem to perform internationally as well. Top 8 in the world, of course, as that one goes for the nutmeg, the panna on Daniel Turk, and he's got to bring it in from the sideline in the end zone.
Dunshern's going to be doing everything he can to put the heebie-jeebies into Turk. Furster with a bit of a leading pass to Shields. It was always low and nippy, but so Shields. I really thought he was going to be able to get a hand to that one.
Furster's rock solid usually. Just, again, you think the pressure there, you feel it, you want to get out of the end zone, so maybe you take a tough look that you normally wouldn't.
Try to force something that maybe isn't quite there. Adrenaline always has to be taken into account in these situations as well. It just ever so slightly throws your routine off. Ten Hagen, that's a beautiful backhand break. Getting into Van de Brink. Van de Brink doesn't want to send it. Instead gets it to Bardol and gets it straight back. Furster's really standing off Bardol on this near sideline. Van de Brink puts that one a little bit low, but Dunshern's ready for it.
Slightly unorthodox form on the layout, but it worked.
He's got to extend out. See, Young was trying to influence a couple of passing lanes, so he takes a while catching up to Van de Brink. Lola. Dam. Van de Brink. That one's going ever so slightly above him. Van de Brink chases it down really well. Doesn't let Young get close enough to get the block. Dunshern.
A couple of dicey moments on this possession for GRUT, looking to break for half.
They retain possession. Looking to break. Van de Brink, that's a lovely cut, but the gap closed just through tireless running by Kirklow. Big bid by Dam. Dunshern probably could have catched it, but here's for the excitement and the highlight plays. Bardol. Back to Van de Brink. I don't know how I feel about Young trying to patrol the passing lanes if it gives off a free dump every single time. And GRUT seem happy enough to take it. Van de Brink. Stenica. A little understated for him in this game, I'd say.
I mean, he really wrenched that hammer fake, didn't he? I have more tools at my disposal if you want them. That pun wasn't even intended, by the way. I'm just that good.
I've always considered your wordplay to be a little ratchet, if I'm honest.
I mean, I do crowbar it in every now and again. Any more for any more? There is a stoppage downfield, by the way. That's why.
That's why we're just having a little.
That's why we're just riffing.
British game show going on over here.
A what game show? Damn right.
Van de Brink. Just tempted to walk off this broadcast now, Dunshern. That's a tasty little backhand dish to Van de Brink. Van de Brink back to Dunshern. And across to Steneker. I think that might have to go back, though.
Yeah, pick potentially. Don't worry. I know you're Irish. Don't worry.
As if my biases make that an illusory fact for anybody else. Oh, and a brilliant run through. There's going to be a bit of discussion over who got there first. It's going to be a very friendly discussion, though, in fairness.
Yeah, the game has been played in really good spirits all the way through.
So Haas reads the play quite well. Dam agrees. Now it's Young. It's a turnover, so chance for DISConnection to get the hold in the end. That's a tough inside break to Shields. She continues the flow straight across to Kirklow. Kirklow rips one. Nicely weighted. It's curving the right way the whole time. And a huge grab downfield. Going and getting it, Hill.
I was not expecting him to come up with that. That is ridiculous because it felt very jostly underneath it. And you're never kind of sure who's going to... Are they going to be able to play through the contact? Are they going to stop it early? Are they going to bring it down under tight pressure? The Spaniard answers the call emphatically.
A massive grab. Also got the block. Double happiness. Enjoying himself out there. He should be after those two plays. That's another...
Yeah, that time Dunshern with the layout. We did say there were a couple of dicey moments on that possession for GRUT. This was another one. Yeah, overthrown for Van der Weyden, but he reeled it down effectively enough. There's Dam with a layout that could have been a clap catch if she got the call from Dunshern. But Hill with lightning quick hands comes through to bring that one in, and they got the disc over towards the break side nicely. And Kirklow, no force there, plenty of time to step into this backhand, fire it deep. Oh, look how early the defender goes up, and somehow Hill gets it anyway.
Hill almost seemed to stop before going for that jump as well. I'm not a doctor, but I don't understand, or close to a physiotherapist, but I don't understand how the physics of that kind of a play works. So 7-6, DISConnection. Do not want to go gently into the second half. They're going to make it a little bit rough for GRUT.
A break here brings us to Galaxy Point, by the way.
Let's see what DISConnection can bring. Van de Weyden. Blausman. Blausman looking for the break. That's great marking by Gross to not allow that hook off. Get across to the opposite side of the pitch. Tenkat. Van de Weyden behind. That's a tough inside break by Tenkat.
They really like taking those on, don't they? The inside flicks to the break. Oh, what a foot block!
Sizable and significant as they stretch it out to the near sideline. Welcotter tries to get it across. He does so just about. Hambrecht floats it out again. The intensity rising with every successful pass here, ladies and gentlemen. Haag
going to the dairy a little bit on the reception, watching it, taking every inch possible on the reception.
Welcotter has a look across, but doesn't want to take it immediately. Instead going back to Haag. Haag with the quick pack to Weigel. Weigel sends it back through the middle in the waiting hands of Erdmann. Erdmann across to Hosbach. This is much more like the DISConnection we know. Every player touching the disc. They're comfortable with anybody having it. Quick, give, goes, throw, and go. Erdmann. Gross. Far sideline. Fakes the high release flick. Arcs one all the way up and over. It's going to float more than he intended. And I really thought that was winding up with Hambrecht.
Yeah, an ambitious throw, certainly, but a tricky look going all the way across the pitch.
Especially when they were doing such a good job of swinging it across and taking the unders when they came.
I don't think it needed to go.
It's a different world when you're out there on the pitch compared to being down here in the booth. Damn, cutting under.
Especially when you are on what is nominally the downwind sideline.
Janssen. Janssen being marked. Got to be a little bit intimidated by Weigel after that. Foot block. Blausman. Gross. Look at the intensity with the hops. You can really see how hard teams are trying by the forces that they put on. That's a brilliant break by Blausman, though. And then Ort, no hesitation. Immediately down to Janssen. Janssen sees Coulertz. hesitates on the inside break this time around, gets it back to Blausman.
I mean, I would.
Oh yeah, well there's reason we're not there. Ort has a break to Coulertz, instead it goes to Van de Weeden. And the old school connection works well for the young guns. GRUT take half, 8-6.
Brilliant, a half of ultimate that. It's when it started, it felt like, oh no, this could be GRUT just strolling to their place in the final. But we did say that DISConnection have played GRUT Gross in the past, looking to avenge that loss in the last 16 at the World Ultimate Club Championships. And I'll tell you what, they are really taking it to GRUT. They are not having it easy, the Dutch. Very nearly got a Galaxy point, but maybe just got a little bit over-eager. Gross trying to go across the end zone. Dam goes up big. That's not necessarily the defender you want to be throwing against as well. And then see Blasman again.
He's so good. Such a great addition to this GRUT offense over the last few years.
And then just punching it in at the front cone. Defender tries to peel off, but there's nothing she can do. And that is an 8-6 halftime lead, with GRUT receiving to begin the second half as well.
Still plenty of positives to be drawn from it for DISConnection. Freiburg far from out of it. As we take a momentary break at halftime to bring you some quick advertisements, we'll be back after these short messages. Welcome back, everybody at home and all over the world, enjoying this fantastic Ultimate over the past 3 days. This is the last game of the second last day. The semi-final in the mixed division right now. GRUT are up 8-6 on DISConnection, where in the other semi-final there was a commanding lead for Reading over Leftovers. Has it been maintained, Benji?
They're pulling it back a little bit, 10-7 Reading lead at the moment. But if results hold, we're on for a pool rematch in a game that was shortened by the lightning delay on day one. That would be Reading versus GRUT, but there's still a lot of Ultimate left to be played out here today.
I'm sure Freiburg have got a few things to say about that. Maybe they want to throw a spanner in the works. So we're waiting here. So here comes a big pull. Van de Weeden underneath it. Doesn't feed to Blausman straight away on the second attempt. Blausman with those backhand breaks. They're looking for Ort, and then Coulertz burns deep and stops and comes right back under. Then Ort forced to put that one out a little bit wide. Neuer and Ort having a bit of a battle. Ort gets slight separation. And then he looks for the quick, lightning fast inside break, but can't quite get it. Bounces out of the hands of Dam.
It's those tricky Oyo throws, the outside in to the inside out channel. You have to fire them in so quickly to get them in there, and they're a really tough catch.
So now Dam is picking up Erdmann. Erdmann gets it down the line, just about to Haas. Haas doesn't look into the break space, instead forced to go for the huge hugs. He was running out of time, and Blausman's there to collect it. Said no initially to the very free Hambrecht, forced to pay for it afterwards. You got to take every open pass that GRUT managed to give you, because there won't be that many of them, as Ort just throws that away. A miscommunication with Caorle. She gone deep. The disc goes under and hits dirt, and here come DISConnection again, looking for a break to start this second half. It'll be exactly what they want. Haas gets it around. Neuer on the far sideline. House jumping up and down, recognizing he's got time. In the end, it winds up with Hambrecht. Now you see Dam on Hambrecht. GRUT seemingly switching and swapping at will. Beautiful break by Hambrecht. Haas throws it straight through in the middle. Stefan back across to Haas. Haas with the dishy little leading pass. Don't mind if you do. And now he's trying to work. They try to give it back. It doesn't go the second time. Van der Weyden jumps in the way and gets the block. Maybe Stefan hoping for a bit too much. That's just not enough separation in that close quarters cut.
I know you like going for the give-go, but you've got a whole pitch to play with. You don't have to be too preoccupied with getting it right in the front cone. No need to jam it in the jam hole there.
As Ort picks up, feeds Blasman. Blasman with the quick pop to Van der Weyden. Van der Weyden gets it straight back from him. Blasman now opens up, shoots it deep. Caorle is chasing it all the way down. Erdmann tries to get in the way. They battle for it. There's some contacts. And I understand that, Cole. From a distance, we can't quite make out the specifics. But Erdmann seemed to have the line saying Caorle comes into the shoulder to create her own opportunity to collect it.
They're saying goal stands.
Very high spirit from the team. Erdmann.
Again, for a game that is so tight, for a place at the European final, good spirit displayed throughout from both sides.
Certainly something we've come to expect from these two outfits over this season. Freiburg got to be kicking themselves. They let an opportunity go to tie it up at sevens. They let two opportunities go to get a big break. There was Dam. See how mad she was with herself for focusing on getting into the end zone when she should have been focusing on the catch. Almost came back with a huge bid. This is where sent it massively deep. That was a desperation huck as the stall count got very high. Here again we see the turnover right in front of the end zone, just on that front corner.
The throw has to come out much earlier, or if you really want to get Haas in that space in the end zone, little thumber over the top.
Never enough thumbers thrown.
And that was a big, heavy collision. And the result of it, the play stands, goal for GRUT.
Not an easy catch by anyone. Caorle, though, such a force. A major target for Mixtape in their quarterfinals. They recognize Caorle is so good, is their main person downfield for them. We've just got to focus on shutting down that option.
Yeah, I know GRUT felt a little hard done by to finish fifth, given that they only lost one game all tournament to the eventual champions Mixtape, and that was tight as you like, 15-12.
Young burns down the line, isn't able to get there initially. Förster straight down the line to Shields. And they're working well. This is some nice flow again by DISConnection. Rumpelt floats one up, perhaps too much float. Shields is under it and almost gets the grab. In heavy coverage. And almost completely unmarked downfield was the form of Brouwer. They decide against sending it to him. They're just taking their time. Bum. He's booming my heart. Bum.
Boom.
Boom. Gets it across in the end. That's not an easy throw, Brouwer. Down the line, collected by the wrinkled man. That's 90 degrees Morrison. Just kind of taking their time a little bit, maybe kind of calm things down. And there's a big handblock. Brouwer was hoping for something.
Another foot block even.
Or foot block even, sorry. Nover says no. Young has the disc. Gets across to Förster. Waiting. Watching. Young goes for the around break. Gets it just outside of the end zone. Not quite happy with the immediate availability. Hill. Oh, and that's a big bid by Young. He's being face marked. He just wanted to throw straight to him. He wants that inside break. Instead, he's forced to settle for the around. And there's the nice pop it. Oh, no, I thought that was going to be in for the score, but it isn't quite yet. And a turn, unfortunate.
Second foot block this game, by the way, for DISConnection to win the disc back. But credit GRUT's red zone defense because they bent, but they did not break.
Epstein. Morrison. He's getting it back. Morrison marked by Young. Looking to extend this lead out for GRUT as we head into the final half hour of this semi-final matchup. Baum. They get it across the Brouwer. Back to Baum. And Hill is doing a great job of not letting Baum enjoy power position for too long. He gets the disc, but Hill gets there to make sure the huck doesn't come off. Brouwer thinks about sending it deep. Boss was taken off. Now Brouwer's going to have to go for the flick break back around to Morrison. Gets it. Morrison largely unmarked in the middle of the pitch. Morrison finds the form of Veer Janssen. Boss over the top. That's a tasty backhand break. Morrison, front corner, doesn't want to force anything. Epstein tries to clear out some defenders with that cut. Baum.
I think he saw the troubles that DISConnection got into in precisely that spot.
Doesn't want anything to do with it. Smart decision. Morrison. And that's an overthrow. You can see maybe the consternation of Epstein as it went sailing by. A little bit messy from Slob.
Just never really gave a shot at it. And stoppage here for an injury, I think. It looks like at least Boss is coming off to be replaced by Lola Dam.
Not a bad substitution to make. Hopefully Boss is okay.
Yeah, and DISConnection are going to make their substitution as well, with Gross coming on in replace of Kirklow. When a player calls an injury, both sides get a chance to make a substitution. The idea being that you don't get an advantage from having someone injured. Otherwise, even though the spirit in the game, we know how it works. You trust that your opponents are always being, honest and making calls in good faith. You could potentially see it abused. Oh no, I'm injured. We'll just get our best offensive player on after the turn, for example. So the opposition gets to make a sub of their own.
So Förster, front of the end zone in that challenging corner. The wind has died down, seemingly here in the second half. Lovely uprushing move. Thinking about the huck, lashing it, but Baum is right there. He recognized that play all the way and gets it immediately back down the line to Slob. Slob launches one herself. Morrison tries to get big. Young was in the right position the whole time. An athletic attempt, but an understandable turnover. Young just had the right place, right time. Turk sends it down the line to Shields. Shields going for the break back inside, gets it to Turk again. Hill is calling for it. I don't really think he's as free as he thinks he is. Epstein is right there waiting for that pass to come.
It's also a really risky shot.
That was almost a foot block by Dam. Shields almost gets it. Förster almost gets it. I guess you got to give that as a foot block to Dam.
That's how I'm putting it in the stat sheet.
That's how it'll be remembered forever. Baum. Dam. Morrison makes a move. Goes back to Baum instead. That was not an easy catch, but Brouwer brings it in. Through to Epstein. Nice cut up the line. Morrison. Epstein. Near sideline. They try to isolate cutters downfield. Baum does a good job of getting down the line, but really great recognition. Waiting for it like a trapdoor spider. Turk sinks his fangs into it, gets the block. Förster. Shields. Bit of a lackadaisical deep cut. You can start to see the fatigue really coming through for Shields. She's putting a hell of a shift out there, a hell of a shift over the last 3 days.
This point turning into a real war.
That was a lovely little back and forth between Shields and Turk. Hill. Gross goes deep. That was a nice step through, but Förster's there first and gets the score. 9-7.
If DISConnection had got broken there, I must admit, it didn't look good for them. They had a couple of chances to break, to claw one back at the from the first point in this first half. That point, 4 turnovers aside, and eventually DISConnection getting it done by hook or by crook means that, yeah, that is going to give them a huge lift. For Crut, though, still take it as a win because a lot of key players on that point for DISConnection, and he really tired them out.
You really got to work them down. As we see, really great positioning from Turk. Shields was going for the shot down the line. Hill gets it. That was just after a lovely little give-go between Shields and Turk as well. And Fursta, generally a real linchpin for their offense in the handling position, but any handler who goes deep, as one coach told me, handlers who go deep kill people. It's a great move to make.
Yeah, we've seen Fursta represent at EUCF before for Disieben Todsunden, which is the 7 deadly sins, which I learned. They are from Paderborn. Also, now coaches Free Speed in Basel. So giving back to the Ultimate community as well.
Helping grow the sport, grow the community.
Fun fact for you, reckons that she can lift the most on the team and also enjoys baking, especially cheesecake. I wonder if she could lift her own weight in cheesecake. I should stop talking about cheesecake. I'm really hungry now.
As Urt has the disc, looks to send it to Blausman, gets it to him on the far sideline. Couple of moves happening downfield. Eventually able to get it off.
That was so knifey.
Yeah. Janssen. Blausman calls for it, middle of the pitch. Gets it through to Ort. Kulertz comes under. Oh, but mistimes her jump ever so slightly. So that one's tapped away. His DISConnection swarmed under it to an extent. I think that was Hag coming in there to help out Erdmann. Now Hag is burning deep and no one's recognized it in time. They can't get the deep shot off though. Fantastic work on the force by Ort.
And
then
then
goes back.
Good recognition
Well
there
caught her.
with players coming to cover the deep cut. Erdmann came in to get a wide open under.
Hag. And that one's always arcing away from where he wanted it to go. Kemmer could only watch it hit the dirt. That's the story of this game for DISConnection. They have not been able to take advantage of the opportunities GRUT have given them. And GRUT have given them plenty of opportunities to get key breaks in this matchup. They've been far from perfect. Blausman. Wickham. Jensen makes a move to the end zone. Wickham doesn't want it. He's going to go inside for the break. They love that perpendicular break. Van de Wieden. Thinking for a long time. Holds that disc. Eventually gets it to Wickham. Nice little switch by DISConnection. Really in tune with each other on the defensive side. Wickham gets the inside break. Van de Wieden then finishes it to Urt. No, almost finishes to Urt. I think he thought he scored 2, to be honest with you. Calls for the shot to the back of the end zone. Janssen spreads herself and collects the disc. Saving possession. There's Urt with his shoulder shimmy and go. Looks for the front corner, can't get it to Kulertz. Instead, is forced to go for a low flick break. And I don't really think he was forced to. He just really wanted it.
Yeah, maybe just got a little bit over-eager because they come close on numerous occasions and thought, well, there's no point, you know, resetting and resetting and resetting and eventually turning over. Let's take our shot while we've got it.
Big, deep look, but it was always too far away. Trying to find Hag, dropping short. Van de Wieden closed off the angle well. Thought about going to pick it up. It's like, I'm going to give my team a little bit more time to set up. Casually walk away. Let Blausman come and get it. Well cutter, marking Blausman. Wickham comes under from the front of Stack. DISConnection tried to go for a quick switch and left Van de Wieden pretty free. Janssen with the disc.
They're doing this on previous possessions as well. They're happy poaching and switching around the front of the zone. They want to match up downfield, but you know they want to play smart because maybe they recognise that, you know, it's an offensive skewed game. If you just wait for them to cut, you're always playing catch up.
Janssen lobs one into the end zone. Kulertz is underneath it and tears it down. There was a bit of contact. Seemed like Van de Wieden may have made contact.
I think
with
it's
Joanna Erdmann.
I think it's all who's coming through.
Oh, sorry. You're right, yeah, that's Ort. So Klertz got up significantly to take that down. A lot of people were underneath it. So a floaty pass. Bodies accumulating. Always going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I think Ort just doesn't see Erdmann, and he completely takes her out there.
Klertz gets up and gets the disc, and then after the fact, Ort comes through. Unfortunate contact.
They've decided that it did not affect the it didn't affect Kulartz's reception of that, but timeout called, and yeah, just hope Urban's okay because Ort came in hard.
So we're going to take a quick break after these highlights. There you can see the turnover overthrowing Kulartz ever so slightly. This was the attempted hammer, but unfortunate for Hag. It's happened to all of us. It just comes out slightly in the wrong direction.
Yeah, they're getting opportunities, DISConnection, but just haven't been able to convert them. And eventually, GRUT getting the job done.
There was another deep shot. They took it straight away, which I like the ambition, but just not quite able to put it with enough zip. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everybody at home, to this semi-final matchup between DISConnection of Freiburg taking on GRUT from Amsterdam. GRUT very much in the driver's seat, 10-7 up. There's just under 18 minutes left in this matchup. Dam's going to put up the big pull. A lot of the major stars out here for DISConnection. Getting immediately down the line to Turk. Turk hits shields. Clearing through and then going to get it back. They're so good at those just quick give goes. 1-2s. Turk looking. Manages to hit Forster. Young goes down the line for her. But nice switch. Dunshern comes across the top. Forster's forced to hawk one up. Although there's going to be a call back near the disc. It might be just a little bit of contact between Dunshern and Young. I thought that was a great switch.
Smart defensively there from GRUT. Work smarter, not harder. And they are having the discussion, but turnover stands. I wonder if the discussion was about a stall out, and they're saying, you know what, turned it over anyway, we'll just play it.
By getting those crucial yards back, although they're happy to let that go. It's going to be Dunshern going to pick it up. So the Young on Dunshern matchup remains. As they're searching around, Steneker goes deep. I think he's looking for Van der Brink. Nicely clap-capped, collected, and then the quick pop in. And Steneker gets to add another stat to his score sheet. Nope, that actually is going to go back. There was a call of a travel on Dunshern's first throw.
Scratch that, but you can see what DISConnection are doing there defensively. They're getting players like Frey sitting in that underneath space. They're looking at what's going on downfield, not really having eyes on the disc. And it's about, okay, players are coming into that space. We're picking them up. We're being very communicative. It works. The problem is that Caorle, like whoever's the deepest player, needs to make sure that they can't get beat into that deep space, because it's a real problem, because of course you can get hurt with the very first pass.
And something GRUT are very okay with is launching massive hooks with the first pass of their possession.
We've seen it in the past.
We'll see it in the future.
Yep.
And right now we're focused on the present. Dunchurn gets that one down the line. Bardol spreads it across. That's Slob. Back in the middle to Dunchurn. Kind of overshoots him. He's forced to bid and he can't quite get there. This is a great opportunity for Young if he can pick it up. Doesn't take the first one. First is there. Couldn't get it after. Instead goes back to Turk.
Wisely.
Nice bit of patience, not trying to force it. Young. This time the break is there. That is pretty. Firster can chase it down. The air bounce perfectly leading them.
I mean, take your pick there. Who wants the goal? Shields or Firster? Firster's in a slightly better position and again, comes through for the score. DISConnection not going down lightly. I love that. Okay, quick pickup. Let's go. And there's nothing. But it's fine, we won't rush it. We'll just take the free reset because GRUT just trying to flood and pack that end zone to prevent the instant score, but it does leave that reset free, and eventually DISConnection just recycle it enough to just sneak that one under the mark.
And that's them at their best, when they're willing to take on the recycling until the breaks become available. We've seen them turn over several times trying to force that break too early in the possession.
That was the score that wasn't, went back on the travel crawl on the huck. And then this one, Dunchurn tries his best, but it would have been a truly remarkable play.
So Turk gets it to Young. And just a full extension backhand break, air bounces it up. And like you say, Shields or Firster could have caught that. Firster's the one who collects it. So for someone who's primarily a handler for this DISConnection team, showing her versatility, he's got 2 scores in this semi-final.
That's what you want to be as a player. You want to be multiple. But you want to make sure that you're not easy to mark up against. That, okay, you force me deep, that's fine, I'll take it. Oh, well, so we'll force you under instead. That's fine, more than comfortable on the disc. It makes it so difficult to pick your matchups if you know where it is. It's definitely 10-8.
So a little bit of confusion with the scores, but no confusion about where the action is, and that's on the pitches. Ort uncorks a monster. He's looking for Van de Weeden, but he's overthrown him.
I have no idea what's gone on with the score. On the far side, they've got it at 12-9. We have it at 10-8.
DISConnection sent a huge shot all the way down the pitch, taken down very comfortably by Weigel. That woman is cool, calm, and collected under the pressure of an incoming disc and the chance to get this game a little bit closer. That's Kemmer, gets it to Gross. They continue the move across to Hospach, and Hospach tries to find the end zone, but a huge bid from Ort means all it gets is dirt. Hag couldn't get the score. Blausman with a quick swing. Van de Weeden. Back to Blausman in the middle. Blausman's looking, and eventually Ort makes the big cut. He's going, chasing it down. That's a really well-weighted pass, and waited for as Ort just casually collects it into the bread basket. Calling for options. They have Kulurtz initially. Now he has Van de Weeden. He's not looking dump at any point. There's the blade across to Kulurtz for the score.
Again, it's that outside, inside out. That little blade through the inside-out channel. It's tricky because it's going away from the receiver, and it really has to be fired in. But Ort nailed it to Kulurtz. Scoreboard on the field seems 13-9, and both sides are happy with it. So as long as they're happy with it, that's what matters. I've said this a number of times. There's the deep shot that was the initial turnover. And again, having been given the opportunity, DISConnection just not there in the red zone, a little bit behind. And Ort lays out just to make sure. And then here to seize the smallest of windows to Kulurtz. And you know what? I'll take this on. Fine. Fire it in. Just a simple plant. Not a huge amount of separation, but just leans out with it and drags that back foot. maybe got away with the travel there.
Probably got away with a little bit of a travel
no
in
one
an indoor
called it,
throw
so-
in an outdoor world.
So there you go.
He was at no point going to throw a dump. Förster gets it across. That's Turk. Turk back to Förster. Förster decides to holster the huck. Had Frey going downfield with a little bit of space. Instead opts to send it into Haas. Haas launches it all the way down. Hag underneath it, collects it, waiting for options to filter through. He doesn't have to wait long to get it to Hill.
That is so slick from DISConnection. Earlier they worked it brilliantly through their women, and we mentioned that. This time it's through their male matching players. Haas opening up the arm, finding Daniel Turk downfield, and Celso Hilroman making the overlapping run, collecting it for the score. Mate.
So 13-10 is the score. Going forward from now, scorekeeper's catching us up. So GRUT with the 3-point advantage. About to receive the disc. We've got a full strength O-line out there. They want this European title. They want every championship they can get their hands on. Van de Wieden waits under it, collects it. Blausman has options. Steneker wants to go deep again. I wouldn't mind seeing somebody throw it to him. Urt collects it. He has Steneker in the open space in front. Immediately hits him. Dam turns to go. Blausman instead goes under to Van de Wieden. Van de Wieden has options downfield. Goes with Janssen instead for the nice easy under. Janssen, Blausman makes a move down the line. Janssen opts to go back into the middle instead. Urt with the disc. He's probably going to go for a break. He does go for a break, gets it to Blausman. Bit of a thrower-led move. Blausman doesn't want that tight window. Instead, he waits for Lola Dam to fake going back in. She toes the line, and I think that was in, as does the very fair-minded Philip Haas. And that one's going to count to go 14-10.
Well, Blausman made Dam work for it, but it's not a problem for Lola Dam. Again, unstoppable in the red zone. And what about that catch? I mean,
you taught me a word earlier in the season, and I don't want to get it wrong. Balletic?
ballet is in ballet.
As in like a ballet dancer, effectively.
Yes, absolutely.
Great word. Great man. And Urt, always going to go for a break in this situation, especially with that kind of separation. He's like, look, I have this. His eyes told a story to Blausman. Blausman understood. And watch the move in the end zone by Dam. Blausman says no to the first.
It's
inside.
the redirect, the little jink, and Lola Dam with some toe drag swag. Noah on cam 2. Well done, mate. And also, congratulations to the sidelines for not finnying us.
It's a rarity, but we're grateful for whenever it happens.
This is what happens when you respect the 3 meter lines. Sorry, I'll get this bee out of my bonnet.
Wait, there's bees in here?
Bees? Scoreboard reads 14-10.
So we're going to agree with it as GRUT look to finish this game with a break. Second half has certainly been trading. What the score was when we went into the second half is up for debate.
Those of you, by the way, who cast your minds back to their last 16 matchup at Worlds, GRUT emerged 15-10 victors. Same again.
After a very tight first half in that matchup, GRUT were able to tear away in the end.
Foul called, bit of contact in the cutting lane between Joris Steneker and Arne Gross.
I think there might be a little bit of contact as well between Hag and Wickham. The main conversation, yeah. Steneker and Gross. Steneker and Gross is quite the matchup. It's been a great game for some matchups. We've seen some wonderful individual battles. DISConnection want to keep this one close. They're not out of it yet. Inside break. Beautifully done. Kirklow down the line. He's trying to find Hag, and Wickham happy to just watch that one hit dirt. So, Ten Hacken going to go over there. They want to end this with a bang. Nice move downfield. Gets it to Epstein. Epstein tries to carve one out there. Ten Hacken gets the dump, gets the score, and gets GRUT a place in the final. 15-10 to the Flying Dutch folk.
Just as it was at Worlds, so it is at Euros. GRUT over DISConnection, 15-10. And that is the second half's first break, and they get it for the win.
It's a great way to finish a game off with a break, especially for a defensive-minded team like GRUT.
I was wrong. Ignore me. No, I wasn't. Oh, who knows what's happening anymore.
Well, while Benji has a quiet crisis of confidence, something I will never lose in you, my good friend, we can see it was an incredibly spirited game in this semi-final. I think DISConnection really put it up to GRUT in ways that they may have been not quite expecting, but Freiburg have had a really great season. Came close to making it into the top 8 in Worlds, made a great showing of themselves there. Of course, they won German national, so there's a title for you right there, and they're going to be battling it out for a bronze medal against, as we see, Reading and Leftovers has also ended. And thank you very much to Sean Colfer for informing us that it will be Leftovers in the bronze medal match against DISConnection. So GRUT will meet Reading. It looks like the Frisbee gods are apologizing for what they denied us with the Lightning, and they're giving it back to us in the final tomorrow.
And it's a final that I am thoroughly looking forward to.
It's going to be a great game. We've got some pretty fantastic finals lined up for us tomorrow. Clapham, always expected, but never assured, are going to be in the final defending their title against Ranelagh, coming out of Dublin, Ireland. And then in the women's division, we have, perhaps also quite expected, Cusp Shout taking on Yaka.
But maybe not in the way that you expected to get there.
True, it's been certainly a series of upsets across all divisions, really.
And as you've just seen now, in the mixed division, GRUT will face off against Reading. Those two sides matched up together so many times over the years, and they always seem to play each other close.
So thank you very much to everyone for joining us here as the sun goes down. We look forward to an action-packed finals game tomorrow after 3 fantastic days of Ultimate here at Caorle. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning, here for free on YouTube. The only place to be, the best people to see it with. I have been Lorcan Murray.
I'm Benji Reese.
And there's all that's left is the big ones. See you tomorrow.
ULTI.TV.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the machine.